Oh great, here comes the terrible twos. No, 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 no.
This is maybe 5th diaper I've changed.
Potty! When you say potty, you better think of some trick to get him in there.
That's what I learned from Leo. I sort of re-experience childhood and re-experience seeing things for the first time.
Welcome to parenthood. You've survived 9 months of pregnancy, you've made it through the craziness of labor and delivery, and now you're ready to head home and begin life with your baby. Once you get home and settle down though, reality sets in and you frantically realize you have no idea what you're doing. Having your first child changes your whole world. Children are a handful, but it's amazing how they grow, develop, and learn over time. You're in luck though. Psychology can actually teach you a lot of different things that can be extremely helpful to new parents as their child grows and develops. This information I'm about to explain to you can help even the most nervous first-time parents feel confident about caring for a newborn in no time. To start off, babies are born with certain reflexes. They respond naturally to stimuli like light or touch in certain ways. If you put your finger in your newborn's hand, for example, the baby probably will automatically take hold of it. If you lightly touch around the baby's mouth, he or she will likely make a sucking motion. Babies typically display rooting, sucking, startle, grasp, and tonic neck reflexes soon after birth. These movements are a normal part of the development process, and they gradually disappear as babies mature, usually by the time they are 3 to 6 months old.
Reflex that we're going to look at is rooting, and so the rooting reflex is sort of a food finding reflex. So I'm going to just stroke Robert's cheek here. He's not happy that I took away his pacifier, and you can see he turned his head to find that stimulus and then to suck. So we'll see if he goes to the other side. And he does. He overshot it a little bit, and that's a real classic rooting when you see that head going back and forth. The next reflex we're going to look at are the grasping reflexes. And so I'm going to note that Robert's hands are mostly fisted, but they open a little bit. And so when they're kind of open here, I'm going to put my thumb in his palm, and you can see he's grasping me sort of rather tightly.
The next thing your child should experience is the sensory motor stage. This is the first stage of Piaget's theory that lasts from birth to approximately age 2 and is centered on the infant trying to make sense of the world. During the sensory motor stage, an infant's knowledge of the world is limited to his or own sensory perceptions and motor activities. According to Piaget, the development of object permanence is one of the most accomplishments at the sensory motor stage of development. Object permanence is a child's understanding that objects continue to exist even though they cannot be seen or heard. For example, imagine a game of peekaboo. A very young child will believe that the other person or object has actually vanished and will act shocked or startled when the object reappears. Older infants who understand object permanence will realize that the person or object continues to exist even when unseen.
Peekaboo! Peekaboo!
After the sensory motor stage, the pre-operational stage occurs. This occurs roughly between the ages of 2 and 7. Language development is very big in this period. Piaget stated that children in this stage do not yet understand concrete logic, cannot mentally manipulate information, and are unable to take the point of view of other people. This is called egocentrism.
Dog.
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 Yeah, Raiden, can you say dog? What does a doggy say? Woof, 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 woof. Raiden? Now say, Raiden. Say, daddy. Drink. Drink. Say, cold. Say, ball. Say, all done. Say, bath.
You should also know, though, that between those stages, the anal stage occurs. During the anal stage, Freud believed that the primary focus of the libido was on controlling bladder and bowel movements. The major conflict at this stage is toilet training. The child has to learn to control his or her bodily needs. Developing this control leads to a sense of accomplishment and independence.
He gets 1 star sticker and he puts it right there. If you go poo-poo, you get 2 stickers.
He made it, he colored it, he put stickers on to decorate the chart, just to get him involved, so it's something that we're not forcing him to do.
There you go. Say good shot.
When you're 3, where do you want to go?
School.
Oh, and where do your pee-pees and poo-poos have to go?
Oh, on the party.
Yay! That's right, not in your pants.
And then he'd get 1 marble for a pee-pee and 2 marbles for a poo-poo. And then he would put it in the glass jar. And then eventually when the jar is filled up to the top, he can bring it to the toy store and pick out any toy he wants.
One thing all parents should focus on is the relationship they make with their child. Mary Ainsworth identified 3 attachment styles a child can form with its caretaker through her strange situation. Attachment is an emotional bond to another person. Children who are securely attached as infants tend to develop stronger self-esteem and better self-reliance as they grow older. These children also tend to be more independent, perform better in school, have successful social relationships, and experience less depression and anxiety. Secure attachment is generally considered the best. A child with this type is upset when alone, but is fine as the mother returns. Ambivalent attachment is when the child shows signs of intense stress while alone and resists the mom as she returns. The last type of attachment is avoidant. This is when the child doesn't care when the mother leaves and doesn't really notice when she comes back.
Sweetie, I'll be back in 1 minute, okay? I'll get you back in 1 minute.
Upsetting for you. The key moment in the experiment is the child's reaction to her mother's return.
Hi. Hi. It's okay.
The important clue is whether the baby's able to become calmed down by the contact with the mother, get back to play. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes.
This takes us to parenting styles. The 3 major parenting styles are authoritative, authoritarian, and permissive. Authoritative parents establish rules and guidelines that their children are expected to follow. However, this parenting style is responsive to their children and willing to listen to questions. Authoritarian parenting, children are expected to follow the strict rules established by the parents. Failure to follow such rules usually results in punishment. Types of the parents are the ones to not give a reason but just say, because I said so. Permissive parents, sometimes referred to as indulgent parents, have very few demands to make of their children. These parents rarely discipline their children because they have relatively low expectations of maturity and self-control. Permissive parents are often seen more as a friend than a parent. The best parenting style you can use towards your children is authoritative. This allows the child to understand guidelines and discipline, but has their own mind and understanding as well.
I don't like how you're treating the children.
Look, Kitty, I'm not going to let our kids go down the wrong path. But if you have a better idea, I'm all ears.
Okay, maybe you could be a little less strict and a little more loving.
Okay, Kitty, enough with the sarcasm.
Oh, no, honey.
Yep, he thought he could sneak out.
So, what now, Ho Chi Minh?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Playtime is over. Your friends are no longer allowed in the house.
Wait, what?
No, we'll talk about it in the morning.
Fine. We'll talk about it in the morning. We'll talk about how your friends are no longer allowed in the house.
You know, I have an interesting idea. Why don't we not punish him? Why don't we try a little of that forgiveness that Jesus was always talking about?
No. This is for his own good. Look, in order for Eric to be a happy, well-adjusted adult, he has to be miserable now. That's just good parenting.
I hope you learned something about parenting and how to handle your child as they grow and develop. Trust me, that's just the beginning now. There's a lot more to come where that came from.